So, I'm not gonna lie. I stole this subject from listening to a podcast the other day, and they spoke in passing about virtual reality and augmented reality, which made me think about this topic. While I would absolutely love for VR to become the next big thing, I really believe that augmented reality has a better chance of doing so. Welcome to another episode of Untitled Gaming Discussions. While there may be those of us out there who may be waiting for that mythical day to come where full dive becomes a real thing, it may be a long time before we actually get to see that happening. Or maybe you don't and I'm just projecting. Either way, since its inception, VR has been something I always wanted to see become a mainstream thing since the OG Oculus Rift before they were picked up by Facebook. To be able to fully immerse yourself in a virtual world and interact with the environments and such is an amazing experience that I'm glad that we finally have in our hands today. When we think of VR experiences, you might think of the mainstream hits like VR Chat, Beat Saber, or HalfLife Alex. The thing is, I feel like these games may have been the only VR only games, with the exception of VR Chat, that I can say that have broken into the mainstream. VR chat being the most popular social space VR experience with its plethora of user-generated content, with its different worlds and avatars the players create, there are people like myself who actually only ended up getting a VR headset because of VR chat, because of playing it on desktop and feeling like I wasn't getting the true experience. Like, there was a piece of the game that I wouldn't understand unless I had a VR. Every time you log into VR chat, there is so much you can do and experience. It's insane. Until the Ugandan Knuckles meme of January 2018, VR chat really didn't have that many people playing, with an average player count of 1,745 players at the end of December of 2017. In January of 2018, the game jumped to a new peak of 20,212 players, with an average player count of 9,223 by the end of the month. It gained a new core player base and would never see numbers like this again until 2019. Do you know what happened in 2019? I'll just take a guess. Okay, time's up. The Oculus Quest released in 2019 and eventually had VR chat added to its library. But don't forget, the Oculus didn't launch just one headset that year, they launched two headsets. The Oculus Rift S came out the same day as the Quest. Look, don't think too much about it. It was a weird time for VR. There were also many people streaming and recording their experiences with the game, which obviously helped garner some attention as well. With a new influx of users, VR chat reached a new peak count of 28,596 in July of 2019. The average player count was only at 6,509, but from that moment, VR chat began to gain traction very quickly, as the next big event to skyrocket its growth was the pandemic. Since then, VR chat has been gaining players non-stop, and as of this video, it has a peak player count of 37,662 and an average player count of 21,715. It puts VR chat in the top 50 most played games on Steam, which is nothing to scoff at. But we must also remember that VR chat does have a desktop counterpart as well. While there is a mix of VR and non-VR players, this is still an impressive number. VR chat has so many dedicated players, and keep in mind that this does not include the entire Oculus player base for the people that might be playing on the Quest.
Let me know when you're ready to begin. Is that really the best you can do? Can't you do any better than that? Ah, a king at last!
Beat Saber was also a surprise hit that made me fall in love playing VR, with its simple but hard to master gameplay. There were many levels which offer many tracks for one to choose from, and open even deeper once you were able to mod your game. Custom levels was what sold me on Beat Saber. Getting able to play these fun ass levels to some of my favorite songs while also getting introduced to new songs by these experiences was always a great time. You can download some of the goofiest levels ever and just meme around, or you can try your hand at some of the extreme levels to try to test your skills. There's a great modding scene which always has people creating different sabers, different stages for a song, custom notes, and even custom avatars. There's even multiplayer, so you can play around with your friends as well. Beat Saber sits at 781 players nowadays, but like with VR chat, this doesn't tell the whole story. There are many people on Quest not accounted for, and as of 2023, Meta has sold nearly 20 million Quest headsets, and by February of 2021, Beat Saber sold over 4 million copies. While I don't know the true number of people playing Beat Saber today, but it had a major impact on the VR space either way. I would say probably the biggest AAA VR game that we have had released is, to no one's surprise, HalfLife Alex. If I'm going to be completely honest with y'all, I've never in my life played a Half-Life game. I have not played Half-Life 1, I have not played Half-Life 2, I have not played this game. I have only heard from reviewers and even some of my friends that this game is the best VR experience to date. Like getting straight fucking 10 out of 10s from people. From the gameplay I've seen of it, it looks like an absolutely amazing immersive experience, so I'm gonna let the community speak for me.
Back when VR first became a real thing and we all started spitballing about which game worlds we'd most like to be fully immersed in, Half-Life topped my list, tied with BioShock. It took a few years, but HalfLife Alex has realized that potential, and it's the best VR shooter I've ever played. With it, Valve has set a new bar for VR interactivity, detail, and level design, showing what can happen when a world-class developer goes all in on the new frontier of technology. In a lot of ways, it feels like a game from the future, and one that the rest of VR gaming will likely take a good long while to match, much less surpass.
Despite the many advancements in VR technology, it still faces a couple of challenges to becoming mainstream. One of the biggest challenges was cost. VR headsets can be expensive, with some high-end devices costing upwards of $1,000. This high cost of entry makes it difficult for the average consumer to justify the expense. Thankfully, with Meta's release of the Oculus Quest of $400, it helped alleviate a lot of this challenge, putting it in line cost-wise of consoles. Also being the first headset to not require a PC to use, but even as good as the technology it is, it still has some downsides of its own with compatibility with some games. Additionally, some consumers may be hesitant to invest in VR technology due to concerns about motion sickness or other physical discomforts that can come with prolonged use. Personally, I literally don't play on my Rift S because of comfort reasons. Another challenge facing VR is the lack of compelling content. While there are a number of great VR games and experiences available, there simply isn't enough content that keeps consumers engaged over the long term. I have named and praised those VR titles earlier in this video, but there aren't too many standout VR experiences. There are good ones that you may know of if you're in the VR space, such as Boneworks, Until You Fall, Zenith, the VR MMO, Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Pavlov. These are all great experiences, but VR is still such a niche market. I can argue none of these titles have actually gotten any mainstream hype. Many other VR games are short and lack depth, which can lead to a lack of interest in the technology as a whole. The limited amount of content available may also be a factor in the slow adoption of VR, as consumers may not see enough value in investing in the technology. While there are some certainly great VR games and experiences out there, the fact remains that there simply aren't enough of them to justify the expense of investing in a VR headset for many people. This is especially true when you consider that many of the most popular VR games are actually just ports of existing games that were not originally designed for VR, like Skyrim VR, Superhot VR, Doom VR, Borderlands 2 VR, or even Minecraft VR. In order for VR to become mainstream, there needs to be a wider variety of games and experiences available that are designed specifically for VR from the ground up. This means taking advantage of the unique aspects of VR, such as the ability to move freely in a 3D space and designing games that can fully immerse players in their virtual worlds. Despite these challenges, There's still some indications that VR may still become more mainstream in the future. One promising development is the growth of VR in non-gaming applications, such as education, healthcare, and training. VR has the potential to revolutionize these fields by providing immersive hands-on experiences that can be difficult or impossible to replicate in the real world. As VR becomes more integrated into these fields, it may become more familiar and accessible to a wider range of consumers. Additionally, the continued advancement of VR technology may eventually bring down the cost of entry and increase the amount of compelling content available. With the continued growth of the VR market, more developers may be incentivized to create innovative and engaging VR experiences, which could in turn drive consumer interest in the technology. However, while VR may continue to advance and grow, it's possible that it may never truly become mainstream. In this case, the focus may shift towards AR, which has the broader range of applications and can be more easily integrated into everyday life. While VR offers an immersive solitary experience, AR has the potential to enhance the real world and provide users with more practical, useful applications. As technology continues to evolve, it's possible that AR may become the dominant form of immersive technology, relegating VR to a niche market. AR, or Augmented Reality, is a technology that combines the real world with digital content in real time. It overlays computer-generated images or information onto a user's view of the real world, enhancing their experience of it. AR typically requires a device such as smartphone, tablet, or smart glasses to display the augmented content. AR can be used in a variety of applications, from gaming and entertainment to education and training, and has the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with the world around us. AR experiences can be accessed through smartphones or tablets that most people already own, which makes it more convenient and cost-effective compared to VR. In addition, AR does not require the user to be fully immersed in a virtual world, which means they can still be aware of their real-world surroundings and interact with them. This makes AR more versatile and applicable in various scenarios such as gaming, education, training, and more. AR also has a lower learning curve compared to VR and do not need to learn complex controls or navigate virtual environments to interact with AR content. AR has the ability to enhance our experiences in the physical world. This can be seen in a variety of applications such as in gaming, where AR technology can be used to create interactive and immersive experiences in real-world environments. One popular example of AR gaming is Pokemon Go. Y'all remember Pokemon Go? It uses AR technology to place digital Pokemon in the real world for players to catch. Another example is Ingress, a location-based AR game where players capture virtual territories and objects in the real world using their mobile devices. These games demonstrate how AR can lead to a new level of interactivity and immersion to traditional gaming experiences. In addition to these type of games, AR also has the potential for use in board games, allowing players to see digital components overlaid on top of physical game boards, or even creating entirely new types of interactive game experiences. For example, AR could allow players to experience digital tabletop games in 3D space with animated characters and objects that respond to the physical environment. AR can also enhance other types of gaming experiences such as escape rooms or puzzle games. With AR, clues and hints can be hidden in the physical environment, allowing players to engage their surroundings in a new and exciting way. Even if we take a look outside of gaming, AR has plenty of other uses as well, such as navigation. AR can help people navigate their surroundings by providing real-time directions or by overlaying maps onto the real world. For example, Google Maps uses AR to provide turn-by-turn directions in real time. Education. AR can be used to enhance the learning experience by providing interactive and immersive experiences. For example, the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History has an AR app that allows visitors to view exhibits in a new way. Marketing and advertising. AR can be used to create interactive marketing campaigns that engage customers and increase brand awareness. For example, IKEA has an AR app that allows customers to see how furniture would look in their homes before making a purchase. Amazon has something very similar as well. When you're about to order something on Amazon, there's a little thing where you can press a button to view in your room, and you can put it wherever you want into your space to see what it would look like in your home. Healthcare. AR can be used to improve medical training, patient care, and surgical procedures. For example, surgeons can use AR to visualize the inside of a patient's body during surgery. Manufacturing. AR can be used to assist with manufacturing processes by providing real-time information to workers. For example, workers can use AR to overlay instructions onto a piece of machinery to help them assemble a product more efficiently. Retail. AR can be used to create virtual try-on experiences for customers, allowing them to see how products look on them before even making a purchase. For example, the Sephora virtual app. It allows customers to try on makeup virtually. These are just a few examples of how AR is used in the real world. As AR technology continues to advance, we can expect to see even more innovative uses in the future. While VR has certainly made its mark on the gaming industry and beyond, it is important to remember that it's not the only technology out there. AR has shown us its own unique set of capabilities, and there's also one we haven't spoke about yet, mixed reality, which combines the best of both worlds. We may soon see an era of immersive experiences that blur the lines between reality and digital worlds. Mixed reality is a technology that merges the physical and virtual worlds to create a new environment where digital objects can interact with the real world. It is similar to augmented reality in that it overlays digital content onto the real world, but mixed reality takes it a step further by allowing digital objects to interact with the real world in real time. Mixed reality blends virtual and real world environments to create a new environment where both worlds can coexist and interact seamlessly. In mixed reality, users can interact with digital objects and manipulate them in real time, creating a more immersive experience. Mixed reality also uses sensors and cameras to track the user's movements and adjust the digital content accordingly, making the experience more realistic and interactive. The technology behind mixed reality is constantly evolving, and it has the potential to revolutionize a number of industries including gaming, education, and healthcare, similar to VR and AR. One example of MR in action is the HoloLens, a mixed reality headset created by Microsoft. The HoloLens allows users to interact with digital objects in the real world, creating a seamless blend of virtual and physical reality. This technology has been used in a number of industries from engineering and architecture to healthcare and entertainment. When I was a kid, I remember watching this E3 conference and being amazed by the tech, and I could not wait to see what the devs would do with this tech, and I was like, yo, this is the future. As you can see in the background footage here, mixed reality doesn't fully suspend you into a virtual world, but instead manipulates your physical environment with the digital world. Another example that I have here is someone showing off this game with a HoloLens 2, where it scans the room, then sets up the game according to the physical environment. And personally, I want this tech to catch on more so than anything else I've mentioned in this video, but unfortunately it's not very accessible. The starting price of the Microsoft HoloLens is $3,500, and that's just starting price. Other headsets like the Magic Leap 1 are priced at $2,300, and as far as I know, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, there aren't many other headsets that are truly mixed reality like the HoloLens or Magic Leap 1, and because other affordable options like the Acer mixed reality headset don't actually have mixed reality functions. Like, they don't actually let you do mixed reality stuff. But hey, if I missed a headset that actually does that for a consumer friendly price, please let me know down in the comments below. In conclusion, VR has made impressive strides in recent years with a growing list of games and applications that immerse us in new worlds. However, need for specialized hardware, lacking catalog, and not being able to hold players' attention have held it back from becoming a mainstream technology. AR, on the other hand, offers a more accessible and practical experience that has already been incorporated into our daily lives. Its potential to enhance education, business, and entertainment is limitless, and with the advent of mixed reality, we could enter a new era of technology where the boundaries between physical and digital worlds are increasingly blurred. As we continue to explore these new technologies and their capabilities, we can only imagine what the future holds. But as it currently stands for me, Augmented reality is the thing that will more than likely become mainstream before the other two, but I would love to see mixed reality actually become more prevalent in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate it if you could like the video and consider subscribing. These videos take a while for me to make, and I appreciate you all for viewing them. If you would like more content like this, then you can check out my gaming discussion playlist on my channel, but that's all from me. You guys have a great rest of your day.